Hi, hello everyone. I'm Srinidhi of third semester Computer Science and Data Science branch. I'm currently pursuing my engineering at Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, Bangalore. Today I'm going to discuss about the topic testing of hypothesis. Let us see what all we are going to cover in this video. Introduction to testing of hypothesis. Testing of hypothesis is a statistical method used to make inferences about population parameters based on sample data. It involves formulating a null hypothesis and an alternative hypothesis to determine the validity of a claim. The goal of hypothesis testing is to assess whether the observed data is consistent with the null hypothesis or whether it provides enough evidence to reject it. Let us see what are the steps they are involving in testing of hypothesis. First, identify the research question and formulate the null and alternative hypothesis. Determine the appropriate test, statistic, and significance level for the hypothesis test. Collect data, calculate the test, statistic, and make a decision based on the p-value. These are the steps that we are used to solve any problem of hypothesis testing. Now, let us see about what is null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis, that is H naught, represent the status quo or the absence of an effect. The alternative hypothesis HA suggests that there is a significant effect or a difference. The decision to accept or reject the null hypothesis is purely based on the evidence provided by the data. Let us see about type 1 and type 2 errors. Type 1 error occurs when the null hypothesis is rejected when it is actually true. Type 2 error occurs when the null hypothesis is not rejected when it is actually false. The significance level of a hypothesis test determines the probability of commuting a type 1 error. Now let us see about one-tailed and two-tailed test. In a one-tailed test, the alternative hypothesis is directional, indicating a specific relationship or difference. In a two-tailed test, the alternative hypothesis is a non-directional suggestion, a difference without specifying the direction. The choice between one-tailed and two-tailed tests depends on the research, questions, and the nature of hypothesis. Now let us see about test statistic and p-value. The test statistic is a numerical value calculated from the sample data to assess the strength of the evidence against the null hypothesis. The p-value is the probability of obtaining the observed data or more extreme result if the null hypothesis is true. A lower p-value indicates stronger evidence against the null hypothesis, leading to its rejection. Now, let us move to the confidence intervals and hypothesis testing. Confidence intervals provide a range of values within which the population parameter is likely to lie. Hypothesis testing can be conducted by comparing the confidence interval with the hypothesis value. If the hypothesis value falls outside the confidence interval, the null hypothesis may be rejected. Next, coming to statistical power in hypothesis testing. Statistical power is the probability of correcting, rejecting a false null hypothesis. A high power indicates a lower likelihood of committing a type 2 error. Factors affecting statistical power include sample size, effective size, and significance level. Common hypothesis tests. Common hypothesis tests include t-test for comparing means, chi-square test for independence, and ANOVA for comparing multiple groups. Each test has specific assumptions and requirements that must be met for valid inference. The choice of test depends on the nature of the data and the research question. At last, let us see the conclusion. Hypothesis test is a fundamental tool in statistical inference for making data-driven decisions. It provides a systematic approach to evaluating the strength of evidence in support of a claim. Understanding the principle of hypothesis testing is essential for drawing valid conclusions in research and decision-making process. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe my channel.